Good morning. I'll tell you, it's a really hard thing to get a good angle in the car. It's terrible. I am sitting outside of work, and the whole way to work, I decided I was going to make a video this morning to talk about yet another random piece of life. And I don't feel like this one is talked about enough. My kids went with their dad this morning, and they were both a little upset because they didn't think that he was coming. And my eldest was even more upset because I was debating whether or not sending her anyway, because she is not doing well in school. And so he showed up, and we saw him as we were pulling out, and I decided to let them both go under the assumption that her dad will help her with some assignments that she's going to turn in this morning. So that wasn't the interesting part. The interesting part was that there was no gratitude. There was no happiness. There was just, they got in their car, or they got in his car, and that was it. And so I was sitting in my car right next to his car telling him goodbye and I love them and just nothing. And I drove away feeling very let down and hurt. And I realized that the pain and the difficulty and the frustration and the ungratefulness for single parents is high. It's very high. And I don't think that there's enough emphasis on how much some of us do just for basic well-being or school stuff or medical stuff. My daughter's just getting started on an ADHD diagnosis, and the hoops that I'm having to jump through to get the information needed to get this diagnosis through her insurance it's not really overwhelming. It's just several steps. And so yesterday this just happened, and yesterday I was trying to figure out all of these things that I need to do. And I kept thinking to myself how, these are not things that I can rely on their dad for. I have to just manage it myself because he's just an unreliable, unresponsible, or irresponsible person. And so even when I request help with things like that, it's usually done in some half-assed kind of way. And so rather than, try and be frustrated that I have to keep asking, or that, he's done it in some way that it shouldn't have been done in, or whatever the case may be, I just stopped asking a long time ago, okay? But anyway, the point is that there's, just this overwhelming amount of work that I have to do on a consistent basis to make sure that my children are well, medically, emotionally, physically, and that workload is just not even comparable to, what he does. And so the biggest part of this video was to talk about how single parents, specifically those of us who are the disciplinarians and those of us who are responsible, and those of us who take our kids to their doctor's appointments, or make sure that they are getting their homework done, or really encourage them to try to get into extracurricular activities, or whatever the case may be, whatever your story is or anybody's story is, that pressure as a single parent is crazy. It's crazy high. And so if nobody else is telling you, good job. Because my God, I wish I had more people in my life telling me, that it's going to be okay, that I'm doing a good job, even if I feel like I'm not doing a good job. Because let me tell you, most days I don't. But on top of that, if you have a job on top of being a full-time parent, double good job. Because now you have these two, extremely stressful situations that you're dealing with on a consistent basis. If you go to college, like I go to college and I work full-time, triple good job to you, because now you have 3 situations that you're doing. I just really don't think there is enough emphasis put on how freaking hard some of us work. So if that's you, like it is me, good job. Good job. And I know that someday it will all end. And, we're going to be in this happy place later on in life that we're going to think back on it and know how good we were and how strong we were and how much we tried. And I think in the end that'll be enough. But in the moment, it's so hard. It's so hard. And for me, it's the knowing how hard I'm trying to just make my children happy and create an environment of support and of love, of encouragement, but also of discipline and accountability and responsibility. But having no appreciation whatsoever for anything that I do for them, it's so frustrating. And I've dealt with it for so long. Part of me is like, I just want it to be over. But another part of me is like, once it's over, I'm just going to wish that it were back. So I'm still trying to enjoy it. But some days, like this morning, they just make me incredibly sad. So hopefully spewing all this out to you, whoever you are that is watching this, helps me release that and go on about my work day happily, because that's where I'm at right now. Happy Wednesday, y'all.